Hi, welcome, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah. If you're new here, I am quickly doing an intro because it's already Sunday afternoon and I just got back from a long weekend. Well, not really a long weekend away, but a weekend away. So I have some stuff to do around the house, but I missed vlogging. It's been like 3 weeks. So I wanted to start a vlog. And one of the things I want to do today is edit a video. I thought I'd start that. And I also am just about to start a new book, so it seemed like a good time. The book I have on the docket is Phoenix Unbound by Grace Draven, who is a romantasy author that I actually enjoy, and I don't really know what this one's about, so I'll let you know once I'm into it. Hello, I'm so sorry for the same exact angle, but it is the next day. So I did finish editing that video, uploading. We all good there. Got a thumbnail, all that good stuff. And I apologize because I've already finished this book. I've already finished Phoenix Unbound, and instead of vlogging and telling you about it along the way, I was just reading, which isn't so bad. But let's talk about this book. Let me give you a plot summary. So this is about two main characters. We get both perspectives. Jeline is secretly a fire witch who also has illusion magic, and she lives in an empire that collects human tithes from every village in the empire, which is a woman human sacrifice that gets burned alive. At the capital of the empire, and every spring as like a yay, it's spring celebration. And because Jeline has fire magic and she has this illusion magic, her town sends her every year to be sacrificed, but she survives the fire and she can cast illusions to make her face look different every year. So she has been the human sacrifice for 5 years. But I mean, this is obviously a terrible ordeal to go through. She is open to, sexual assault, and obviously she's surrounded by other women who are dying for real. And so it's just a very traumatizing experience. Azarian is one of the gladiators that competes in, fights to the death for the Empire. He's one of the best gladiators in the world, or in the Empire. And he recognizes Jeline. He can see through her illusions. And so he is also a slave and is brutalized and sexually assaulted by, people in the Empire. And so he blackmails Jeline and is like, I can see through your illusions. If you don't want me to tell everyone, you're going to help me escape. So she completes the ritual. She escapes the ritual and then unlocks his cell. But he doesn't let her leave. He kidnaps her after that and is planning on using her to stake his claim on his clan leadership role. He was in line to become clan leader but was betrayed, and so he's going to use Jeline and her power to secure his own role once they've escaped. And so I like the premise, I like the concept and the idea of this story. It's a very slow burn romance, which I think you would have to do for this type of story because he literally blackmails and kidnaps her against her will, and they end up forming a romance. I like the premise. I like the fact that it's a slow burn. I enjoyed the fantasy elements in general, but I wouldn't say I think the execution on this one was quite my cup of tea. I liked this couple in theory, and I liked them as individuals more so than I liked the execution of their actual romance. And for a smutty book, romantasy, I've read other Grace Dravens. I was kind of expecting that level of smut, and it was really tame. And there was only one scene, really, of consensual smut, and it was like very quick and very like kind of obfuscated, and it's just not what I was expecting from Grace Draven, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. There are other elements of the execution of this romance that I was like, this is just okay. I didn't get like the butterflies and the tingly feelings and like the you know, the big declarations of, there wasn't like a big declaration of love. There was just like slow burn. It was like, oh, I'm starting to feel a little bit jealous when you talk to other women, and then they're in love. And it was just like, it just kind of, even for the slow burn nature of it, I don't know if there were enough scenes convincing me of these two and their love story. So that being said, I enjoyed the fantasy plot. I didn't love the fantasy plot, so I ended up giving this one like 3.75, which is very specific because I read another Grace Draven book, Master of Crows, that I gave 3.5, and I do think this book is better than Master of Crows, but it's not like a 4-star read. Like, I had a good time reading it, but I'm like, okay, I'm probably not gonna think about Phoenix Unbound again after. I'm not gonna reread it. It's not gonna have any lasting impact on me. Taking the doggies on a walk. So excited. Cooking, as you can see and hear. I'm trying to step away from the sizzling pan so you have a chance of hearing me. So throughout the day, I actually have read 60% of Meeting Millie, which is a contemporary sapphic romance, and I'm liking it. It's not like giving me like weak knees, or I'm not like kicking my feet, you know, but it's kind of a slow-paced romance, so I'm just waiting for them to like start the romance part, because this is a second chance friends to lovers. So these two women were friends in college, and they had a falling out, and so a decade later, they're meeting back up and reconciling and starting a friendship again before they start a romantic relationship. So they're just like friends again at the 60% mark, and now we're starting to enter romantic territory. So I'm enjoying it. It's a good listen, but I'm not like head over heels in love with it yet. Chicken Alfredo. Good morning, everyone. It is 8 o'clock. I really need to get to work, and yet we're doing a reading update. Anyway, I finished Meeting Millie, and I continued to like not have any sort of emotional reaction to it, one way or the other. Like, I just felt a whole lot of nothing for this book throughout. Even when the two characters like started actually falling in love, which was only the last 40% of the book, I was like, okay, yeah, that's cute, that's nice. And that was kind of my reaction. So I'm landing on like a 3.5 stars. Like, In general, I enjoyed my time reading this, but like, sunscreen, by the way. I enjoyed it, but I just didn't feel a deeper connection, you know? I think it explored some interesting themes, some interesting parent-child relationships, friendship, but I don't know. It just didn't quite connect with me on a deeper level, and that's all right. That's okay. Doesn't have to be that way every time. I'd say this is a solid sapphic romance. Solid. 3.5 stars. Hello. It is the end of my work day. I am on my way home, and I actually have a reading update. That was weird. Why did I do that? I've said this before, but I can read when I'm working if I'm doing mindless tasks, and I was actually able to do a little bit of reading today. So I started a quick erotic romance while at work. Might not have been the best decision, but you know, it worked out. I started Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop, and I'm 33% into this already. It's only a 3.5-hour audiobook at 2 times speed, so like I really didn't listen to that much, just about an hour of this. And I'm enjoying it. It is erotica. I would count this as erotica, not necessarily, because it starts off pretty flirty, and then they start getting together pretty quick. So this is about Janelle, whose ex is marrying her older sister, and she doesn't really care about it. But everyone is like babying her and thinks she's having a hard time when she's not. And so to like relieve the stress of that, and like her sister's kind of a bridezilla, she's the maid of honor. She's getting with the, groomsman? Best man. So they have like this arrangement where they're only gonna do this for like a week. But of course I'm assuming there's gonna be feelings and whatnot. I'm liking the setting. They're in Tulum, Mexico on a vacation. It's spicy. I'm liking that. The flirting is top tier. I love the flirting in this book. So it's a great time for an erotic romance. Good morning again. It's Wednesday. I'm now 3 for 3. 3 books in 3 days. And that's kind of a lot, to be honest. I think on average, if I'm really liking a book, I will read it between 2 and 3 days. It usually takes me between 2 and 3 days to finish a book. You know, longer if it's long. But I've just been really in the reading mood this week, and I've just been going a little ham. I don't think I can keep that up, to be honest, but that was kind of a fun little 3-day period that I did. So I did finish Only for the Week last night, and I enjoyed it immensely. I don't think this is definitely, I would classify this as erotica. Like it's so short. There's a lot of scenes in it, and these two are like kind of insta-lovey, instant feelings, instant connection. But the thing that worked for me is that the man, Rome, his name is Rome, he is down bad for Our Lady, Janelle. He is obsessed with her. He wants to do nice things for her. He buys her things. He spends time with her. He's obsessed with her. He has always been obsessed with her. And that's how you're gonna win me over, personally. Like, the guy has to be intense. He's gotta be down bad. He's gotta be obsessed with the main character if you're gonna make like an insta-love, very smutty story work for me personally. And it did. I will say,
I gave this like 4.5 out of 5 stars. Like, I really had a good time with it. Like, don't get me wrong, but there are a couple of threads that do not get resolved or don't go anywhere in this book. Just like really small little things that really didn't bother me too much. And I will say this about romance, primarily romance written about women that feature a man and a woman. This is dual perspective. I will say this is dual perspective, but the only character growth that happens is on Janelle's side of things, not Rome's. And I don't think that particularly bothers me. It's just something I notice about romance. A lot of the times the male main character doesn't get the same kind of attention to detail in terms of the character work that the women do. And that's not always the case, but that happens sometimes. And that's the case, I believe, in this book. I'm getting my rings on. Ugh, that was a little tight today. Must be humid. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling. I really liked it. I thought it was sexy. I thought it was fun. I really liked the dynamic between, I liked Janelle's character work and her familial connections, and her basically like learning to set boundaries. Like, that's kind of her arc. And I really enjoyed that. I don't think this is the type of book that's going to have like a lasting impression on me. I just had a really good time with it. I did start another book last night, but I'm definitely not going to finish it in one day. I mean, I say that, but who knows what's going to happen. I started Radiance by Grace Draven. I did decide to have 2 Grace Draven books in one vlog. This is about 2 characters in an arranged marriage. Ildiko is the woman, and Brescian is the guy. And Brescian is not a human, and Ildiko is. And so this is like arranged marriage, sort of monster romance. And what I find hilarious, I read 10% of this, is that they think the other race is really ugly. And so they actually meet before they get married in the garden. Very Queen Charlotte vibes. And they're like bantering, and I'm like, do you think I'm ugly? And he's like, yeah. And then, but they say it in like a funny way, and she like laughs, and then he's like, well, do you think I'm funny? And she's like, well, you look like a monster from my childhood that would have crawled out from under my bed, and I would hit you with my dad's mace or something. And he laughs, and he thinks that's hilarious. So they already have this like really nice rapport between them, which I'm really enjoying. So I'm enjoying the humor and the flirting and like the banter between these 2 characters already. And so I'm really intrigued to watch them fall in love. I love arranged marriage and marriage of convenience. So I'm already prepped to really enjoy this story.
Hello, everyone. Sorry for the lighting, but I'm just heating up some of my dinner. I just wanted to give you a quick update that I started an audiobook. So Radiance is an ebook, and I definitely need an audiobook going at the same time so I can listen to that on my walks, which I just got back from. I'm really sweaty. And I started the second book in the Empire of the Wolf series by Richard Swan. The second one is The Tyranny of Faith. The first book is The Justice of Kings. I read the first book, gave it 5 stars, was absolutely entranced by this, so I decided to pick up the sequel pretty much as soon as I could. And so this is what I'm going to be listening to, but I'm not really going to be focusing on it for this vlog. That's just going to kind of be what I pick up when I'm wanting to do things in between reading, because I am really enjoying Radiance, so I kind of want to focus on that, and actually like dedicate time to like looking and reading with my eyeballs, because I don't do that often enough, and I want to. Quick update, I'm watering my plants outside, and my snake plant is blooming. So this is super rare, at least where I live. Snake plants have to be extremely, extremely happy to bloom a flower. And not only do they have one flower, but look at all those. Look at all those flowers. This is one happy plant. She likes her spot out here, at least in the summertime. Hi everyone, it's Friday and I'm here to end the vlog. A little bit on a sour note, unfortunately. Not because of the books I'm reading, but I just had a bad night, insomnia wise. So very low energy, and I'm actually gonna be taking PTO for the rest of the afternoon and resting, just because I'm really not doing great. So I decided to end the vlog, recap my week, and go from there. Go take a nap after this clip. So I read first of all, I read 3 books in 3 days, which is insanity. It's crazy. I was just like voracious. I could not get enough of reading. I love, even if the books weren't 5 out of 5 stars, I just loved the act of reading that much. I can't do that all the time, clearly, obviously, but it was so fun to do that and have a little bit of like a challenge. I don't know, I didn't intend to do it, but it just kind of happened that way. We started the vlog off with Phoenix Unbound. I enjoyed this, but didn't love it. This is a fantasy romance where the main lead is blackmailing our heroine, and he actually kidnaps her and sweeps her away, and she's like, I want to go home, and he says no. And so it's a very slow burn, sort of enemies to reluctant allies to lovers. And this was just okay. I expected to love this because I've loved Grace Draven in the past, but this one was not my favorite. I ended up giving it like a very specific 3.75 stars, so slightly below a 4. Just, I didn't love the dynamic or the execution of this one. Then we had a contemporary romance, Meeting Millie, which is a sapphic rom-com, which is a second chance friends to lovers, and this was like a 3.5 stars. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. I think the ultimately came down to I wasn't emotionally attached to these characters. And actually, I saw another reviewer talk about this book in a YouTube video. It was just like out of the blue. I was like, oh, we read the book at the same time. And she said that they were really cruel to each other in their arguments. And I was like, you know what? You're absolutely right. That was another reason I wasn't like vibing. I was like, even in my most angriest moments with my partner, I would never say and do some of those things that these women did to each other when they were supposed to be best friends and or, you know, their soulmates, you know, like so this one was just okay for me. 3.5 out of 5 stars. Like, I didn't hate it. I didn't, you know, there were other elements that I did like about this book, but didn't love it either. And then we had Only for the Week by Natasha Bishop. This is a vacation, sneaking around, mutually beneficial relationship romance where our main character, Janelle, is going to the wedding of her sister and her ex. Her ex is marrying her older sister, and she is the maid of honor, and her sister and her mother have beef with our main character. And this is honestly, so like this is a lot of smut and like almost erotica at this point, with a lot of family dynamics between and Janelle growing and setting boundaries with her family, and that's like her character journey. And so that's kind of what this book is, more so than it is a romance with a capital R romantic development. I liked this couple. I thought Rome, the man, was perfect. I loved him. He does all these grand gestures. He's super sweet. He's super thoughtful. He seems like a dream man. But I think the execution overall of this romance wasn't up to my personal reading taste, which is why I gave it like 4.5 out of 5 stars. I did really enjoy this and have a great time. I just wanted more capital R romance. And so those are the 3 books I finished this week, and then I did start 2 others. The Tyranny of Faith by Richard Swan. I'm really enjoying this. I'm about 35% in. This series does not hold back. This is gory. I had a moment where I was like, I was having like a very physical reaction to a very violent moment, and I was like, is this too much for me? It was very on the edge, and I'm a horror reader too, so it was right on the edge of my comfort zone, but it doesn't hold back plot-wise. The characters are interesting. I'm loving this series. This is the 2nd book in the series. I love the narration. I love the execution. I love this world. It's great. And then I also started Radiance by Grace Draven. Speaking of Grace Draven, I'm loving this. I'm also about 35-40% into Radiance, and this is an arranged marriage romantasy. I'm loving this. Love, 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 love. I'm reading it slow because it's an ebook, and since I've not felt good today, specifically, I'm like not really up to reading with my eyeballs, but love, love, love. This is so sweet. This is so cute. They are so loving and just like really kind to each other and like teasing. They have really great banter, and they really recognize like they see each other, and that is so romantic and so sexy to me when people in like a romantic pairing like see you at your worst, see you at your best, see you for who you truly are. That is my jam. And they're like, you're beautiful on the inside, and I see you, and I'm like, I'm dying. Even though they're different species. One's a human and one's a non-human, and yet they still can come together as partners and are falling in love, and I love it. So, anyway, that was my week. Thank you for following along. If you made it to the end, you're a real one, and I will see you in another video of mine very soon. Bye.